So we came up with a program called Baby Steps. Baby steps because you have to take small steps in order to accomplish your huge goals. What you need to do is set yourself up as a venture or enterprise, as an empresario, because that's what you are. You're an entrepreneur. But more than an entrepreneur is somebody that has an idea, maybe, may not follow it. An empresario is someone that at all costs, whatever it takes, is out there to make it happen. So the question really is, are you ready to really do what it takes? Because people say they're ready, but then when it's time to give them the steps to do the things, they're like, oh, but I don't want to really do that one. Just shred my papers. I'm not ready. So are you ready? Some of the steps are legitimizing yourself, setting up a corporation, setting up an LLC, getting your EIN number, getting up and running your legal banking. Okay, so you get a license. You qualify. You know somebody with a building. You know somebody that will help you pass inspection. All of these things. Somebody that will write your proposal, 80-page proposal, right? Say you hurdle over all of these obstacles, right? Then what? Where are you going to put your money? Did you think about that? What about banking? Are you going to stuff it under the mattress? So these are steps that need to be taken, and part of the program is to help guide you, like the footprints in the sand, walking next to you, and you have to do the steps yourself. We can't do them for you. But there's an avenue and there's a pathway. It's just information is power. One of the first things we need to recognize is if you're in an area that is considered disenfranchised, right? So they have certain empowerment zones in different areas, particularly here in New York. And if you're in one of these disenfranchised or empowerment zones, the way we would like to call it, then you automatically qualify for some leniencies and some waivers for things to go up temporary while we bring you up to full compliance of the law. So some people would call these loopholes, and we're able to help you take advantage of those if so you wish. So there's a whole pathway of compliance that needs to be followed. It needs to be taken in baby steps. It's dependent on what industry, on what part of the industry you're trying to come in. So are you trying to be retail? Are you trying to be somebody that is a brand designer? Are you trying to have a spa? Maybe you're a masseuse and you want to start doing massages with cannabis creams. Do you want to make edibles? Are you a chef? Now do you want to make cannabis food? So it really depends on what type of portion of the industry you're trying to enter. There's so many ancillary services, which means things that support the cannabis industry, that you don't always have to be touching the cannabis. Therefore, regulations and laws might not be as steep and as complicated for those people. For example, if you want to grow and you want to have a smoke lounge or you want to have a dispensary. So there is a pathway to every single one of those. And it doesn't matter if you had a cannabis conviction. In fact, it works in your favor, especially here in New York. So full compliance looks like you owning a building or leasing a building, hopefully with a landlord that doesn't gouge you, right? From $3 a square foot to $15 a square foot when they find out it's for cannabis. And then that you pass inspection, because just because you have the building doesn't mean you're going to pass inspection. Now you have to make sure that you get fire department, and if you're doing food, that you get the health department, et cetera, et cetera. So it seems like a long headache, but you're not alone. It's a team of people, Team Starlight through Starlight Projects Foundation, and experts such as Tammy and other people that are community leaders. Everywhere we set up a chapter office, we always source locally. So local leaders are here to help the local constituents. It's a partnership with city, state, and federal elected officials that have signed up to help their people, because we've come up and said to all these city halls and city councils and meetings and states and said, well, we're happy as a foundation that you're opening the doors to the public now, right? But how can we create a yellow brick road that everybody can walk on to the Emerald City? And that's what we've really forced everyone to think about, and we're here ready to present that. So
now, when you're getting ready to start your licensing, what are some of the things you have to do as far as your personal background?
So one of the things that we put everyone through is a personal background check. There are certain things that can be waived and certain things that cannot. instead of applying and spending the money and the time and the effort and then getting rejected or denied and you getting all upset and then waiting for somebody outside the door, it's better to do the background check, know what you see. Maybe some of those things can be cleaned up. Maybe they can. Maybe we can write appeals, etc. But at least we know where we're at. We have a game plan and a strategy that we can set up for you.
Now, what are some of the things you want to consider prior to doing your licensing?
One of the things you want to consider is, do you have financial backing? Now, I know that there's a lot of grants and things out there, and we will also help you with community grants that are out there and available, help make them available to you through our foundation. But the most important part is to always have a backup plan. Because if your first plan is the backup plan, then it's a shoestring budget. It's not going to happen. You have to have a main plan, the backup plan, and then the backup plan for the backup plan. So I would, yes, go in full-heartedly to do the grants. Have a backup plan with maybe some of your own source funding that you've saved. And then also have maybe some investors that you line up that might be interested. But now you're going into it with your eyes fully open, not getting predatory lending because you're a deer in headlights with sprinkles in your hair, thinking that now you're a unicorn because you qualified for a license. So there's a lot that happens from the minute you apply to the minute you open the door to your customer. There's a lot of money that comes out of your pocket. So by the time you're opening the door to your customer, you're in the red and you're in a hurry, but you can't be in such a hurry that you don't comply. And so that's why you need that backup funding to make you comfy in that process.